Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already heard, Donald Trump is going, what does Curtis say? Postal on Ron DeSantis. All right, I'm going to read for you the statement from Donald Trump. He writes, News Corp, which is Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and the no longer great New York Post, bring back Cole, is all in for Governor Ron DeSanctimonious, an average Republican governor with great public relations who didn't have to close up his state, but did, unlike other Republican governors whose overall numbers for a Republican were just average, middle of the pack, including COVID, and who has the advantage of sunshine, where people from badly run states up north would go no matter who the governor was, just like I did. Ron came to me in desperate shape in 2017. He was politically dead, losing in a landslide to a very good agriculture commissioner, Adam Putnam, who was loaded up with cash and great poll numbers. Ron had low approval, bad polls, and no money, but he said that if I would endorse him, he could win. I didn't know Adam, so I said, let's give it a shot, Ron. When I endorsed him, it was as though, to use a bad term, a nuclear weapon went off. Years later, they were the exact words that Adam Putnam used in describing Ron's endorsement. He said, I went from having it made with no competition to immediately getting absolutely clobbered after your endorsement. I then got Ron by the star of the Democratic Party, Andrew Gillum, by having 2 massive rallies with tens of thousands of people at each one. I also fixed his campaign, which had completely fallen apart. I was all in for Ron, and he beat Gillum. But after the race, when votes were being stolen by the corrupt election process in Broward County, and Rod was going down 10,000 votes a day, I sent in the FBI and the U.S. attorneys, and the ballot theft immediately ended, just prior to them running out of votes necessary to win. I stopped his election from being stolen. And now Ron DeSanctimonious is playing games. Wow. The fake news asks him if he's going to run if President Trump runs, and he says, I'm only focused on the governor's race. I'm not looking into the future. Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer. This is just like 2015 and 16, a media assault collusion, when Fox News fought me to the end until I won. And then they couldn't have been nicer or more supportive. The Wall Street Journal loved low-energy Jeb Bush and a succession of other people as they rapidly disappeared from sight, finally falling in line with me after I easily knocked them out one by one. We're in exactly the same position now. They will keep coming after us, MAGA, but ultimately we will win, put America first, and make America great again. This has to be one of the cringiest things I've ever heard from Trump, and it's sad. It's very, very sad. Ron DeSantis didn't say anything about him. Trump comes out after Ron's double-digit, 20-point victory, and then is just, for no reason, insulting Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, it's kind of a little pathetic. It's a sign of weakness, because you're what he's doing is essentially spreading division. And his comments began with COVID because that's one of the strongest talking points against Donald Trump, and where the two are the most different. Donald Trump told everyone to lock down, said we need 14 days to slow the spread, got Dr. Fauci to bark out orders, told everyone to listen to Dr. Fauci, launched Operation Warp Speed, told everyone to take the vaccine when DeSantis didn't lock down. He didn't have any mask mandates in his states. And he told people, hey, if you want to take the vaccine, take it. But it's up to you and your doctor to make those decisions for yourselves. That's the biggest difference there. And I think this is why Donald Trump started by talking about COVID in his kind of unhinged attacks against DeSantis, when it could have been a moment of congratulations. Like, hey, DeSantis, you did great. I hope other people in the party do great as well. Maybe we should work together. But we don't have any of that.
Imagine if he said, instead of insulting Ron DeSantis, if he said, I remember when Ron DeSantis came to me and said, I need your support. And I said, Ron, you're a good guy. You have great policies. I am going to be there for you. And now we see just how successful he's become. Imagine if he just said that, said, I was proud to stand with Ron DeSantis, and I'm proud now to see his success. I'm glad that I threw my weight behind him when I did, because now we're seeing a true star. That would have come off as strong.
Yeah.
Well, and I think so many people followed Trump, and they were hoping to see more candidates like Ron DeSantis pave way and do the same bold, outspoken stuff that Trump did. And then so when you have him, he actually knocks them down. It's actually, from somebody who loves Trump, I don't like to see that. You want as many Trumps. You want a whole movement. I mean, if you're a part of that MAGA movement, you want more and more of that. And you don't want just Trump.
Exactly.
What happens when you're gone, Trump? You want to bring up a whole nother generation of politicians that are going to be bold, that aren't going to be, kissing media butt. And so you get someone like that in Ron DeSantis, and then he
and Trump, but Trump is up there when it comes to age, and there's an opportunity there to help people to build and grow, but that's not what we have here. So
let me piss everybody off. So we don't need another 80-year-old president. We don't. Okay. Now, I supported Trump. Now, when I didn't understand Trump 2015, but when I walked into the voting booth, there were two boxes. There was Hillary Clinton and not Hillary Clinton. I checked the one that said not Hillary Clinton, and we wound up with Donald Trump. Now, again, he converted me. He brought me over. I could see through the stuff. I could see through the, if you will, the comedic timing that he has, which is really pretty damn good. But he was anti-establishment. I think a lot of people love that. They love that aspect about him. He wasn't one of those bought and paid for 50-year politicians as we've become used to. And people will make the argument. They'll say, well, without Trump, there would be no DeSantis. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Without Trump, maybe there's no Lauren Boebert. Maybe there's no Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's the whole point. Like, Trump should be like, yes, look at all these people I've brought up, versus right when they succeed. I mean, that's no different. It's like, obviously he's threatened by him, which is stupid. Well, he even said
you start to look like, and everybody says, well, it's 4D, 5D, 18D chess, right? Trump knows all. He walks on water, right? He's the savior. He's the messiah. I get it. Yeah. Everybody's knee deep in this cult.
Did you know that
of personality?
Donald Trump, the name, it means herald of the world ruler?
No.
So Donald,
but it sounds like it should.
Donald is. I'm being a little editorial with it, but Trump means like the trumping sound, the declaration,
right?
And Donald means world ruler.
And listen, I was sitting with Donald Trump Jr. the night CJ and I decided I was going to run for governor.
Oh, and I sing songs about Trump. Like, I love him.
Sang at Trump rallies.
I love him.
We've been around. I mean, obviously, the point is we've put our support.
Well, the point is what I'm scared of is he actually. It's okay. It works when you do it to Ted Cruz. I mean, we love Ted Cruz, but he's not likable. It works. It works. We all get a kick out of it. But when you go after somebody that's done so much for America, it's it's going to rub your fan base the wrong way.
And the other day, I guess it was yesterday, on Truth, Trump said, now that the election in Florida is over, everything went quite well. Shouldn't it be said that in 2020, I got 1.1 million more votes in Florida than Ron D got this year, 5.7 million to 4.6 million, just asking. So I tweeted it this morning. I mulled over it for 24 hours, and I said, dumb. Trump's ego getting in the way again, and there's literally no justifying a move like this. Now, psychologically, I agree with you, Tim. I don't think there's any way you look at this, it becomes cringy. People that want to see two heroes come together and say, let's be a powerhouse.
But remember that meme that it was the Babylon Bee. They wrote an article that said, ingenious move, Trump supports impeachment, forcing Democrats to oppose. You remember that Babylon Bee article?
Yeah.
And then they just wrote basically, Democrats now had no choice. You see, this is my favorite conspiracy theory here. Donald Trump knows no matter what he does, they will take the opposite side of it. So Trump starts going after DeSantis. So all the never-Trumpers, all of the moderates, and many Democrats are going to be like, screw you, Trump. I like DeSantis.
Yeah, that's wild shit, but I can see it.
Trump is, I'm kidding. Honestly, I think Trump has got an ego and he's mad that DeSantis is doing so well because he wants to run. But we can just imagine that Trump is actually so noble. He's willing to sacrifice his own image.
God, I wish.
To force it. I wish.
It would be very genius.
We talked to Trump Tuesday night, right? So we're sitting there. We did our panel discussion on the Blaze. Sarah Gonzalez, Glid Beck. We're all sitting there. And we had Trump for 15, 20 minutes, right? And 3 times Glenn asked him, he said, hey, when you announce on the 15th that you're going to run for president, Trump ignored the question till the 3rd time. And finally, quite honestly, you're going to love what I got to say. You're going to love it. You're going to appreciate what I'm going to say. You're going to love it. And it's like, your assumption is, he's going to announce that he's running for president. I can't in a million years imagine that he's going to say, I'm going to throw all of my power and my weight behind a Ron DeSantis, who, look, I have no doubt, I have no question. I mean, even, I'm not going to quote Roger Stone, but even Roger Stone told me one time, he's like, I don't trust Ron DeSantis. He's too establishment. Maybe he is too establishment. But I'll tell you, the guy's done a hell of a job.
Yeah. But when Donald Trump criticized Ted Cruz. There's legitimate things to criticize Cruz on. What is he criticizing Ron DeSantis on? I'm not seeing it. Why hasn't he made a strong, legitimate argument about what exactly Ron DeSantis has done? He hasn't been doing
He
that.
actually
Right.
said
He hasn't
what
been doing
he
that.
did. He was upset that he didn't come outright saying he wasn't going to run for president.
Yeah, and again,
Which is nothing to write.
That's belligerent, insane kind of thinking that's absolutely based on the ego. And what is it doing? It's creating division amongst a party that again is fighting within the party. And even that one side, the anti-establishment faction, which I think is represented by Trump and DeSantis, is fighting within that party. So it's a civil war within a civil war of this political party, which is spreading more division, and of course making sure that the populist branch of the party will never get any significant strength.
The
neocons are happy. When the neocons that are watching this right now, they're happy. They're cheering this on.
They're calling this in the press the GOP Civil War, and I'm like, yo, the Civil War is in 2015. And Donald Trump won and then was at war, or he wins this fight in the primary, but then he's in this long battle with the GOP establishment. That civil war's been going on. Yeah. If they're now claiming this is a civil war, they're admitting Trump won. That MAGA won, the Republican Party, that's it.
Well, and it did. Well, never mind.
Wouldn't it be nice? I mean, in my perfect world, I could see Trump and a DeSantis that come along and say, you know what? We recognize the Democrats and the Republicans are the flip side of the same big government coin. They're all corrupt. We've been screwed by the two-party system. They basically ruined a constitutional republic. Let's start a whole other party. Start a whole other
libertarians.
But how can they start a party when they keep fighting each other?
That's the problem. That's why I say in my perfect world, but they're not going to do it.
But there was even a couple right-wing pundits that were talking about.
If it's back to I'm an interrupter. My bad. Sorry.
No. It's just sort of. I just want to make one really quick point. I just want to make one quick point here. There was a couple right-wing pundits that were making the call that DeSantis and Donald Trump should run together, and this was going to be a dream ticket that could definitely dominate and beat the Democrats. And now that's not going to happen. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I listen. I got kids. I always
fine.
talk
Don't worry
over
about
them.
it.
I'm like, listen to me. Sorry, but I was like, you're saying how it could be they're causing everybody to look at them like this infighting.
Yep.
All the plan, and then all of a sudden they come out holding hands. It's the American dream.
This could look. A lot of people want to believe that Trump's always playing fourth dimensional chess. Like that implies it's multi-layered and he's traveling through time or something. But whether it's on purpose or not, this is owning the news cycle. And that means Democrats are never going to get a minute of time to talk.
You're right.
So they've got no stars. Beto and Abrams are their stars, and they just keep losing. They're famous for losing. Yeah. Beto's now lost what?
Three in less than 4 years.
He's the best loser there is.
In less than 4 years.
I want somebody, I was going to do it, but I didn't have time. I want somebody to come out with a meme that shows little African kids wearing Beto shirts, from after the election. And I want them to see, like, these kids growing. They've got a kid that's Beto for Senate, Beto for president, Beto for governor, and they just keep growing in these shirts.
And then you have a meme where there's an outlet store called Discount Clothing, and it's all Beto shirts, all the different kinds, Beto for Senate, Beto for governor.
And I hope he runs again, because that's an easy
he's probably
shoo-in
going to run
for
against
whoever.
John Cornyn in Texas for senator of Texas. He'll probably run it. Cornyn's a piece of trash. But to your point, Tim, I agree with you. I think that you got Trump, who, I'd love to have the kind of power where you could sit on the toilet in the West Wing at 3:30 in the morning, freshly spray painted orange, and just hair hasn't moved in 4 days, and just hit tweet, and just say covfefe, and it controls the news cycle for 36 hours.
Right. Yep.
That's laser pointer to cats kind of power. And he could do that. He knows he can do that. And he's not even on Twitter. He's doing it on Truth.
But let's think about this. If Trump really was a smart guy, right? And I'm saying, I think Trump is a smart guy, but if he was like a tactful mastermind, what if he really was thinking, he didn't, like Luke pointed out, he didn't actually attack DeSantis for anything. He's attacking him, but not really criticizing him on anything.
Right.
What's the purpose of that? We're talking about it. It's making it look like Trump is whining and doesn't like DeSantis. It's giving DeSantis, the story now is he's like, DeSantis had this big win, but I was bigger. He's making the press continually report DeSantis won by massive numbers without actually attacking DeSantis. You see what I mean?
It's a good point.
What if Trump is thinking, they will hate me no matter what I do if I run, but DeSantis as my proxy, if I hate him, he wins, and then gives me favors.
Good point.
Well,
I love
Trump's
that.
been, I mean, that's one theory that needs to be backed by some evidence.
No, it's a total speculation.
Yeah. But Trump has been attacking DeSantis for a very long time. He's been making small jabs against him throughout the last few months and years that are becoming pretty evident that there is a kind of ego battle here. I don't think it's for the chess. Who in the world knows? But at the end of the day, I think we should be skeptical of DeSantis. I think we should be skeptical of Donald Trump. But right now, DeSantis is really doing a lot by not saying anything. And by not reacting, by not playing into the ego, by not counterattacking, a lot of people are like, wow, he's handling this in a way better way than the former president of the United States.
You know what I love? I wake up after the midterm and I see these posts where they're like, what happened last night? This is Trump's fault and all that stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, did the Republicans lost? And I look and it's like New York Times projects 224 seats for the Republicans. And it's a toss up. It might go to 51 in the Senate, maybe not. And then I'm like, okay, so so they won. Wait, hold on. These leftists are cheering. Colbert is gloating. Jimmy Kimmel is laughing. They're posting pictures of like a spattering of ketchup on the floor. And they're like, yo, we won. And I'm like, Hillary Clinton, she goes, it turns out women like their rights and they vote. And I'm like, lady, you lost. Like, I don't understand. This means Nancy Pelosi's done. She's out. This is like the most powerful Democrat has just lost. And now she's done.
Out of a job.
And they're cheering for this. What do you call someone who celebrates having lost?
Crazy person?
A loser at minimum. But I don't understand. I know we had Milo on the other day, and he mentioned it's because the Republicans wanted revenge. And I was like, oh, gee, I guess I'll have to settle for winning. I get it. You want revenge. No, I totally understand. Yeah. A blowout landslide would feel great. Sorry, guys. You'll have to accept just having won.
You just have to won. You just won.
But it's also important to note here that Ron DeSantis did endorse candidates in this election that didn't win. So he doesn't also have a perfect record as well. Sure. Donald Trump also endorsed candidates didn't win, but Donald Trump's getting a lot of the criticism and a lot of flack from it. Some people say it's deserved. Some people say it's not. I think what happened in Pennsylvania with Oz, the criticism there is absolutely deserved. I think what happened in Georgia, he criticized the candidate there that won. So again, it's a mixed bag of what's going on here. But when we look at the midterms, I mean, this is the best midterm for Democrats since 1986.
For Democrats?
For Democrats, yes. And Biden had a better midterm than Clinton and Obama. This is one of the best performing midterms for incoming political party in the last 20 years. So they did.
And there's one reason for it.
I think there's a lot of reasons.
There's one reason.
It's not because of policy. It's because of mail-in ballots and redistricting.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.